So they'll be calling you a radical. This is extremely, extremely important video because the liars at the ignition facility at Livermore are saying they've come up with cold fusion. Jennifer Graham Holmes going to announce it tomorrow. No endeavor that is worthwhile is simple in prospect. If it is right, it will be simple in prospect. Simple. Multi-trillions of fucking dollars later. You're... Now, and we're going to talk about this. You know, I don't talk enough about my quantum physicist background, you know, because throw your fucking hat in the ring. Einstein, Metalbron. I'm a big Metalbron fan. I loved his work. He never won a Nobel Prize, did he? He won the Japan Prize. Plutonium. Now, let's talk about this. At the University of Utah, 40 years ago, they claimed this exact same thing. Remember that? Oh, now what does this mean? That means the energy they put into something, they get more out than they put in. Well, hello, that's called the fucking sun. So, Livermore, California, I protest there so many times. Bringing star power to Earth. That's their logo. That's their logo. Kamala Harris's mother, the epidemiologist there, she died of cancer. I think it's incredible that Metalbron died right before Fukushima happened, which is sad. I love his fractal set, the fractal physics. I mean, it was so... I mean, Jackson Pollock and he, they didn't work together, but, I mean, boy, did that cross over. So, inside the MoMA, got to tell you, I was walking across Prospect Park in Fort Greene and had this on, and these young crew of kids coming through there, all tough guy. They looked right at me and says, "Look, it's old man Jenkins." I says, "Thanks. What a compliment." SpongeBob on Balco. So, they got it. Jennifer Graham Holmes herself's going to announce it tomorrow. They ain't got shit. I read through the paper. I've already had the paper sent to me. The paper was sent to me this morning. I read it. Wait till you see what they're claiming. So, they're full of shit. All they're doing is justifying their multi-trillion dollar budget. I mean, it's such bullshit. So, I'm going to do an experiment here. You got a drip. I was going to try to do it earlier right at 32 degrees, but these are big paintings. So, I meet this woman in the MoMA. Me and Atlee went over to the MoMA, and I'm like, she just walks up to me, and we start talking about Pollock, and she says, "God." I'm like, "What, do you think my old ass still don't like girls? Come on." We're talking. I says, "Well, she's a dripper." And I'm like, no Freudians. I says, "I've invented what I call Jackson Pollock's assembly line. I have my roll of velvet that I got, and I'm going back to the Velvet Underground, and I have a whole roll, and on my assembly line, this is how I did this. I love it. It turned out so fantastic. And I put my paint in my cannon, and I drag the canvas along like an assembly line. Now, today, I think I'm going to drag this across my Fukushima frozen paint. I'm going to use water and call it nuclear fission. Okay? So, I grew up, I was one of those gifted kids. And this 6th grade testing, I was like the high score on everything. And so they're on me in 7th grade at Walkwich Junior High, and I don't know, nobody figured me out. I had issues. And Mrs. Kohler, my 7th grade, she's the only one that ever really figured me out. She had me figured out, and then she says, "You're one of those minds." And then we did a strength test. She was teaching us about lactose in muscle. And then she says, "You broke my record. I've been doing this for 15 years. She says, "You're just one of those." I says, "Yeah, I know I am. I mean, I don't know. I think it was because my father was nuclear about a test site." So, she's the one that turned me on to a lot of different stuff. But I already knew about Metalbron. She says, "How do you know about him at your age?" I says, "PBS, my channel my grandma lets me watch, and I like Einstein. I like to read about Einstein. I like to have dreams about stuff. And I was so turned on by Meadowbrown's work. He never won a Nobel Prize. He won a Japan Prize. The fractal physics, the thing. He won a Japan Prize. Now, rumor is I've been nominated over our wings. We will pretend. So, the Department of Energy at Livermore, as you know, I protested. I had Thanksgiving dinner at 7-Eleven there. I protested there so many times with Kamala Harris's mom. So, nuclear coal fusion, they've got it, Yes, one tiny jump, it's going to solve the world. Like I said, it was here at the University of Utah. That guy played blackjack out and went over for decades, for years. Oh, wait. That's so. They're gonna. Jennifer Graham Holmes gonna announce it. Like Jennifer Graham Holmes, like the fast breeders. Remember the fast breeders in China? One a month's gonna start going on in 2010. By the way, that's when Meadowbrown died. He died the fall of 2010. But let's talk about this. They're gonna put a fast breeder one a month. You know how many fast breeders they put on? The new Mach 5 generational? One. And it went into meltdown. Jennifer Graham Holmes got the letter. So under the law, international law, you have to send the intermittent radiation letter. Only if you absolutely know that you've had some kind of radiation disaster. And you have to send it to all downwinder countries, which is pretty well. She sent it. They sent it. China sent it to the Department of Energy. Jennifer Graham Holmes did not disclose it, which is fraud, illegal by law. It got leaked to CNN in the middle of the night to a dude who I know who worked there, and he put it out there at like 12:30 a.m. Got in a lot of trouble for it. I got this in PB at the thrift store. I think that's where he lived when he died. So I'm gonna do it this way this time. Instead of dragging that, I'm gonna. You guys grip, Andy. I was going to just wait till it melted. Do it slowly. Freezing like I'm hoping it would? Yeah. Yeah, it's working perfect. I didn't experiment with this before either. It's not hot water. Fuck, you get sick of those fucking. Freezing nicely. Freezing really nicely. Oh, freezing right now. We'll continue with this because the high's going to be like 29 for the next week. Fuck, it's working the best. Better than I even thought. It's freezing. Right off the canvas. Fucking beautiful. Unbelievable how well it's working. Almost starting to freeze right as it came out. As soon as it hit the ground, it's puddling in ice crystals, which I hope it will because it's not cold. So, wait till you read this paper. You know, this is trillions and trillions of dollars, and how many dead people later. So, nice, right? It's puddling and starting to form ice crystals perfectly. Look at those. How nice, right? Look at that. So it worked. I tried to time temperature wise. So, man, get a Nobel Prize. Middlebrand never got a Nobel Prize. Somebody says, oh, too old. Fuck, too old. Shut the fuck up, you morons. He got the Japan Prize. Rumor is I've been nominated for it this year. So, Fuktonium. Oh, turned out that was better than I thought. It's cold. And so, I hope the camera caught it, some of it. You know, and we'll maybe experiment with this one too. Maybe do another one on this and drag it. And plutonium! So, Jackson Pollock was a genius. Jackson Pollock, how can you continue to paint in the old way, in the old style of the masters post the bomb? Kevin Blanch, how can you do anything? Paint, live, breathe, walk, talk, do anything post the meltdowns of Fukushima, Japan. Now, by the way, at Livermore, you can look it up. Livermorium. Now, Californium was before. So, but Livermore and Tennesseeum, a bunch of these came after Fukushima. They took waste from Fukushima at our National Lab on Balco, collided it, and created 4 new elements. They got 220,000 supposedly apiece. Well, that's Kevin Blanch's work. Come on, that's my work. I'm the first one that did that. I'm the first one that came up with this. And I named it Fuktonium. Hello, it's a new energy. These guys are going to try to grandstand and pound their chest. I remember when he claimed he had it at the University of Utah in 1980. I don't talk enough about my quantum physicist background, you know, and because I'm an Einstein guy. I mean, I run off the intuitive mind. I don't want to get in their mathematic formulas and fuck me all up. He was at Caltech for a little teeny while, but only for a couple years. My grandpa refused to let me go there, and fuck, I was too wild, man. I was like, whoa. I found coping mechanisms when I was a teen. And everybody says they weren't good. Yes, they were. Girls. What's the winner? It's a hit. It's a hit. That turned out beautiful. So they're claiming it got Jennifer Graham home. Fuck. She's enough to creep you the fuck out, which I call the anti-porn. Anti-porn I call Jennifer Graham home and Rick Perry, because remember Rick Perry said he was going to make it sexy again. Rick Perry telling he's going to make it sexy again. Woo! Eek. Eek. So, it's just starting to, oh yeah, just barely. I hope the camera did it some justice, because right as it come out, we can do this at colder temperatures, you know, and I'll get some paint and I'll drip across Fukushima when it's time, but really, what coming off plutonium, it's invisible, can't see it. So cold fusion. And if you want to understand fission versus fusion, you know, colliding the atoms, cutting the atoms, splitting the atom, hex gassing the atom, you know, which creates free radicals like plutonium, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to bore people with that shit because that's what it is. It's boring. You just need to know one word, Fukushima. But all this means is they're claiming, and Norway's claimed the same thing, CERN has claimed the same thing. A lot of people, all it means is they're taking giant amounts of power and using some kind of process that is cremating more power as it exits than comes in. And I read through the paper, this minute, teeny trace has been claimed multiple times before, multiple times. And we have one of those. And if you don't believe me, you take a magnifying glass. Remember when you was a kid, you take your magnifying glass and point it towards the sun and put it on ants? We have that. We have lots of ways to magnify the sun. You can take the sun, you can magnify it and create so much more energy for free. Same with the wind. Cultures have been doing it for thousands of years. This is a sham. Plutonium's not a sham. Edward Teller's a fucking sham. The billions and trillions, fuck. It's a sham. So, I love these paintings. I really love the way this one turned out. By the way, that piece of shit just reminded me, you know, the Keystone Pipeline, everyone fought it so hard, and let's make a deal. It's just leaking in Kansas. Just, you know, same old, same old. So, I like my experiment, the way it turned out. Jackson Pollock's assembly line. You know, cold fusion, Blanche, you got it. Up to you. After you. Remember when the U had it? That guy was I think he was of Polish descent too, like Metalbron. And I loved Metalbron's work. I fucking was so turned on by him when I was young, forever and ever. I used to like the way he talked. I liked the way he spoke, and his whole rough theory, you know, it turned me on. You know, the whole fractal art. I mean, it's like Pollock's dripping. So I really wish he would have been still alive when Fukushima happened, because I think he'd have been on my team instead of all alone. I really think he would have. He never got a Nobel Prize. Einstein only got one when he was real young. They tried to take it away because he turned on nuclear energy fiercely. Hell of a way to water, Kevin Blanche. Nuclear energy, hell of a way to blow the planet. So they're going to announce they've had a breakthrough with cold fusion. They're full of shit. They're full of shit. As usual, send them another billion, trillion, gazillion, and nuke everybody to death, including my father, in the Nevada test site. Teller. And Teller reminds me of Bankman Fried. Sam I Am Sam's, Stanford. Teller's, they're Bankman Fried. His mom and dad, the law professors. I hurried and registered for a class in their law class at Stanford here last month, and I got an email that says they won't be teaching now. So they made a statement, says, well, it was a planned sabbatical. Then why was their name on the freaking university docket? Well, I thought Berkeley was different than Stanford. What was stamped on the field? What a fucking sham, man. It's unbelievable what a sham all this has turned into. You got no actors. So I was with Dr. Perry at the Helen Caldecott Symposium himself. And Dr. Perry went on this. And Dr. Perry was the LA Times reporter on Livermore and Teller. And he says he saw Teller in the streets at Livermore one day. And God, that place is the creepiest place in the world. I protested there so much with Kamala Harris's mom. And He's yelling across, we got this breakthrough, whatever. Fucking tell her. What a scumbag, huh? Star Wars on Balco. Oh, nice. I'm glad I waited. Beautiful. Let's see how the experiment's coming. Fucking love the way this is. By the way, I bought this roll of velvet for $5 at the swap meet from a guy I know out here. It's freezing up nicely. By the way, the art, it's not the thing. You got to have a thing. I get it. You got to have a thing. It's the process, especially with the video camera you have. Everything you do should be videoed. It's the process. I'll take the trains over the plains. What an evolution, huh? Thomas Hart Benton standing right there. One day, speaking of art, and you know that Pollock was a Thomas Hart Benton guy, Arnold Blanche. Standing right there, Promontory Point, May 10th, 1896. One day I'll tell the story how I got out there. Whoa, I'll get trouble for this. So, pointing right there at the mighty Mount Ogden, someday I envision a statue of Christopher Columbus on the highest Rocky Mountain peak. Oh, fuck. No wonder Pollock freaked out and walked away from his studio order to Roscoe's. By the way, the original dripper was Max Ernst. And when Peggy Guggenheim fucking exiled him, she exiled him to Utah. So, you got a drip. I saw some paintings that I'd never seen before at the Scumbag MoMA. They remodeled. And the crossover between his Depressionary art and his dripping. I've never seen crossover paintings, but he did them. So, one more time, flipping the can, right? Well, this is a historic, important breakthrough. Squall moving across. Westinghouse. That's where Western Zirconium is right there. Ooh, ooh. Protest out there a lot of times. It's cold. Not for me. You got to drip. You got to flip. Why you drip? The Fukushima silence. Plutonium. Oh my. Nobel Prize. Einstein, Mandelbrot, fractal physics, fucking the theory of relativity. Plutonium. Throw your hat in the ring, man. No endeavor that is worthwhile, simple in prospect. If it is right, it will be simple in retrospect. 80 years? You think this has been simple? Billions and fucking trillions and so many people dead? It's the opposite of that. Even Scumbag Teller had something right. He had that right. I got that at the fuck thrift store in La Jolla. North La Jolla, the slums of La Jolla. North PB. Or PB. I can't remember. I got a La Jolla PB. So, I like the way it turned out. We'll keep working on it. Stay in tune.